What's going on, YouTube? In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys why you should be buying used New Balance sneakers off of any secondary market.
Till the sun just won't rise and heaven's under eyes. I'm living to die for you, there ain't none after you. Till the sun.
So I've been collecting shoes for the majority of my upper higher life, like teenagers and into my 20s, and I've always loved sneakers. I've noticed that it's really hard to find some good deals, to find the exact sneaker you want. There's a lot of ways you can go about that and trying to find the perfect sneaker. All of this is regarding New Balance, obviously. So like when I would shop for shoes, I would always try and find deals, find them on sales, trying to get the right pair for the right price. Obviously we want to save some money as well as get the perfect shoe. For me, I only wear New Balance, right? I walk out the door, there's a pair of New Balances on my feet. I have a pretty large collection, and I would say that I wear all of my shoes. You know, I put them on, I wear them. And I feel like that's what most people do with their New Balance. Buy them, they wear them, and they enjoy them. Now, for other brands such as Nike, people buy them in a lot of like those higher end Jordans, like people just buy them and they shelve them, or they wear them a few times and things go from there, whatever. But buying a used pair of New Balance is a genius idea. I know a lot of you guys probably do that. I'm gonna here to explain to you guys why I'm such a fan of buying used New Balances and why I will continue to do it and why it's so much fun. In my New Balance collection, some of my favorite pairs are used sneakers. You know, I'll go on eBay and I'll buy a pair of New Balances that I find perfect. I'll go on eBay and I'll search and search and search, filter and do all these things, and then find the perfect shoe for that price I want in a condition that's worth having. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna buy a pair of used New Balances for $3 and they have no sole on them. There's lines and there's limits, and we'll get into that. So I mainly buy off of eBay. That's kind of like my go-to, just because I know that they're gonna be real, as well as I can look at all the pictures, and if I don't like something or I get them and they smell like garbage, I could just send them back, which I've never had to do, but it's good to know that I can. Now, when you look at a shoe, right? Shoes have a life, like everything in life has a life. Shoes are no exception. You wear a shoe, you beat it up, you wear it every day, whatever. The shoe's gonna die eventually, even if you do take care of it. And that's the most cases for a lot of other shoe brands, right? So you say, theoretically, you buy an Air Force One, you got like a year and a half of everyday wear before you have to go buy a new pair of those. Now for New Balance, especially the made models, that's not the case. The New Balance made models last, I don't even know how long. I've never gotten to the end of a made model. I've had my 990 V5s, which is probably the most worn sneaker in my collection. First 990, had that since my junior year of high school. Almost had them for 4 years. It's my junior year of college. I got them around this time. It's crazy. They still have life in them, and I'm like, I have a backup pair sitting right here waiting for me, but I have not touched them yet, just because I know they still got life left in them. So I don't really know how long made models last. If you do, drop a comment how long you've had a pair of made models. So with that being said, when you wear a 990, like I could sell that 990 V5 theoretically, and somebody could buy it and keep wearing it. New Balances have extended lives. Even the non-made models, this Rosewater right here has gotten extensive amounts of wear. It shows little amounts of wear that it's gonna deteriorate. Like that shoe has a lot of life left. So what I'm saying is when you buy used New Balance, obviously it has to be in some sort of good, well-kept condition. You can keep wearing it and give it that second life. A lot of other shoe brands, you can't do that. If you can theoretically buy a secondhand pair of Jordans, but they're not gonna give you that same life as a New Balance would, and that's just difference in quality and comfort, and that shoe brands, New Balance being better. New Balance is one of the only shoe brands where I feel like you could go on a resale market, such as eBay, find the shoe you want, have it be worn a little bit, and basically have a brand new sneaker. Like I did that with these 991s. I paid $100 for these, and I don't know how old they are or what the story is on these, but they're phenomenal shape. And it's fantastic that I was able to get such a good deal on them and give them another life. You know, it's hard to find a 991, especially in a gray, as well as this beautiful 991, right? So that's just one example. And I'll show you what I look for when I'm buying these shoes, but obviously, like I said, we'll get into that. A lot of times when I'm trying to find a grail sneaker, such as my Jound 990 V4s, found these on eBay. It's tough to find them new, and I'm not paying $700 for a pair of shoes. It's just not gonna happen. So I'll go on eBay and I'll hunt, and I'll find a pair for 200 that has some wear on it, a little bit of defects as far as like suede being a little matted down. But yeah, if you're gonna knock $400 off that price point and I can get a shoe that's already broken in, already worn, and still has a long life ahead of it, absolutely, I'm gonna buy that sneaker any day. So now we're gonna get into what kind of things to look for when you're buying a used New Balance, because obviously there are key determinants on whether it's gonna last long or not. Most of the times it will, but you do have to look for good things. First off, we'll just take this 991 for example. What I looked for when I bought this shoe is kind of the main key things, right? So obviously the first picture you're gonna see is gonna make it look like it's the most beautiful shoe that it can look like. Obviously it's advertising in that sense. So what I just look overall. Is there any main stains? Is there any like bad markings? Kind of look detailed, like you can see here. There's some stains right there, some stains on the suede on the mud guard. But overall, it's passed that first test. Obviously it's a used sneaker, it's gonna have some wear, it's gonna have some marks. Especially for the $100 price point that I paid for this, it's in pretty good shape. I'm all golden on that. Next, what I'm gonna look for is the inside where you put your foot. Okay, this is gonna get a lot of wear. So in some of these made models, as well as any other shoe, you're gonna get a lot of wear right here from your heel slipping in and out of the shoe. And I'd like to look for if there's any like tearing. Is the material rubbed down? I know for my V5s, that material is pretty much rubbed down. I know that's gonna be a problem with the V6 I've heard from a lot of people, as well as this 992 behind me. So that's a good indicator on whether it's worn or not. Obviously, that probably wouldn't stop me if everything else was good, but it's a good way to tell if somebody's really worn it. Next, while you're in there, the insoles. A lot of New Balance insoles have some sort of sticker decal on the heel. This one says New Balance Stability Absorb Insert. You can still read that, you can still see that. It's a very good sign because with a lot of wear, those will start to wear down. Insoles will kind of shed that first layer. So the fact that this sneaker still has it tells me that somebody briefly wore these, like hardly wore them. And that's a really good sign because that's gonna see the most wear as far as your foot. After that, you know, you can get pretty nitpicky. I know like if my dad was buying a pair of used shoes, he would be so nitpicky on it and trying to find every little detail and mark. But when you're buying a New Balance, I'm assuming that you're gonna wear them and you're gonna beat them up a little bit. So those marks are not gonna bother you. Lastly, one of the main things, obviously you can have your own list, but my main thing is I will look at the outsole. This is gonna be your tread. This is gonna tell you where this shoe's been, how far it's traveled, and kind of the story. You can see a lot of life. All right, so this is, first I just wanna say this is my favorite outsole on a New Balance. You got these cute little ends. Looking at this sneaker now, I will say that the 991, the 990, all these made models have very, very strong, durable outsoles. So it's gonna take a while for them to show some wear. You can tell that you can hardly see any wear on this outsole. Hardly any at all. Like a little bit of heel drag right here, that's about as bad as it gets. But you can tell, like if I saw this sneaker, which I didn't, I bought it, this is a great pickup. For $100, worth every penny. I honestly could probably get 5 years of everyday life out of this sneaker. At least I like to think that. I don't know. Rotating this on and off, this sneaker will last me a very long time. Even if I do choose to make it a beater, which I don't really see this being a beater sneaker, but someday it could be. Like that's a great way to look at it, kind of decompose it and figure out what's good and what's not. Like for this one's kind of a special case. Because this was a Grail sneaker of mine, which was this Jown V4. This did have a lot of flaws as far as the suede kind of being completely matted down on the mud guard. You could tell somebody tried to clean them and they were kind of uneducated on that. But the suede looks worn in, which I honestly think looks good. For this one, it did come with insoles that were not from the original pair. Fine by me, I'll take that any day. You can see that the inside of the shoe is not worn in, there's no tearing. Suede in the back looks good. And then you wanna look at the outsole. Now, when I bought this sneaker, there was a lot of mud on the outsole for whatever reason. Somebody was probably hiking on them, I don't know. No signs of a lot of wear. Paid $200, super justified, came with the original box. This was a no-brainer for me. One of my favorite sneakers of all time. And to get it for only $200 when it's selling now for close to 6 to 5 to 400, yeah, I'm gonna take that. This is a great sneaker to have in my collection, and I got it for a deal. And when somebody's already kind of worn it, somebody's already kind of beat it up, you don't have to go through that cringing phase of wanting to beat up your sneakers. So it's already worn in. Just go out and hit the streets, rock this sneaker, and enjoy the rest of its life. Somebody did the hard work for you. Now you get to enjoy it. Now, obviously, I'm a firm believer in buying a sneaker, you wearing it to the beginning to the end, giving it that entire life, and just telling your story. That's one of my favorite things about sneakers is the storytelling. At the end of the day, there's so many shoes in the world. There's shoes that people buy that don't wear. If you can go on eBay and find a perfect pair, or just even a beater pair, like I'll show you one of these, is one of my favorite sneakers in my collection, another 990 V4. This one was $50. I paid 50 bucks for a made model, and some of the best, it's probably the best 50 bucks I've ever spent. You do see some chewing on the midsole, and you see a lot of wear, but look, you can still see the insole. It still has a little bit of decal left. Midsole is kind of chewed up. Somebody's dog probably had it. Suede's discolored, but when you really strip it down, there's some wear right here. It's a 990 V4. It's made in the USA. It's probably a couple years old. I know a 990 V4 still got life in it, so I bought it. I've worn this shoe a lot in a lot of places, and I'm gonna keep wearing it because it's my favorite, one of my favorite V4s that I own. 50 bucks. I know even if I get 50 wears out of the sneaker, that's a buck a wear. That's worth it to me. And I've gotten well over 50 wears. There's some white laces in here. Perfect example of finding a grail, not a grail, but a steal on eBay or any reseller. So go looking at buying some used sneakers, New Balance sneakers, obviously. Give these shoes a second life. I might start selling some of my shoes behind me. I'm starting to realize what kind of shoes I like to wear, and I'd rather have somebody else have them. So I'm gonna keep doing that, going about that. But yeah, let me know what you guys' thoughts are on buying used sneakers. And yeah, we'll go from there. More videos to come. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.